You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Now, as far as a bio for Tiefing Diawara, he is a native of the country of Mali in West Africa. He's currently 19 years old, playing in America with the Nike EYBL League, and this season it's for Team Hero. I looked up his numbers there. Currently averaging 4.5 points per game on 45.7% field goal shooting, nearly 7 rebounds per game, and a little over a block per game. I guess one of the highlights, though, of all of his stats is that he's shooting nearly 82% from the free throw line on over 20 attempts. So, hey, he could shoot the ball a little bit, at least maybe not from beyond the arc, because we'll get that to in a second, but he hasn't attempted a three in his high school career, or at least this season. But he can shoot free throws. As far as ratings are concerned, like where Tiefing Diawara is on the major recruiting services, he's not listed. Couldn't find him. I mean, he's listed on 24/7 Sports, but they didn't give him a rating. ESPN, he's not listed. On3, not listed. And Rivals, not listed as well. But Syracuse did beat out a couple of top programs like Baylor and Kansas State for him. So that's pretty nice, right? As far as the scouting report, I mean, I've never seen him play, but from what I've gathered online, doing a lot of research for this podcast, obviously he's a big fella, but more importantly, he's got a 7'3" wingspan. So he is very long, which is very promising. He's got good mobility. He's got good coordination, and he is a nice threat in the low post, but obviously still very raw and needs to work on his finishing and his shooting range. Again, has not attempted a three-pointer for Team Hero this season. And the two things that you're hoping that Tiefing Diawara can provide for Syracuse in his true freshman season coming up would be defense and rebounding. That's about it. We know what the strengths and weaknesses are, and we'll get to it later on in the show, but to just summarize it quickly, it's the offense seems like it'll be very good. The defense, not so much. So they need more players who can provide defense, and hopefully a guy like Tiefing Diawara can do just that for Syracuse. This is the type of move that I was honestly expecting Syracuse to make. If you recall, we've talked a lot about Syracuse basketball's roster over the last couple of weeks, analyzing the strengths, the weaknesses, going over the transfer portal class, the recruiting class, and their expected roles this upcoming season, right? We've done all that stuff. And I would always mention on those podcasts, hey, just so you all are aware, Syracuse could still add, because at the time they had 12 players on the roster, so they had 3 open scholarships remaining, right? But I always would preface it by saying, hey, even though they can add to their team, it's probably not going to be someone super duper significant. Like we saw the other day, PJ Haggerty go to Kansas State and Darian Williams go to NC State. I'm not expecting Syracuse basketball to make one of those types of moves, getting one of those premier players. Even a guy like Jameer Watkins, if he pulls out of the NBA draft, I don't think that Syracuse would make a run for him. So to me, it's not a significant addition in a guy like Tiefing Diawara. I do think that he's going to play at times during this season, but when I look at the roster and I look at the recruiting class, I think it's very clear that Sadiq White and Kyan Anthony are the types of players that you're hoping make an immediate impact right away. 2 guys that are top 30-ish overall in the country. You're expecting them to make a day one impact. Luke Fennell, I mean, he's like a backup point guard, and Nate George is the starter, so he's not going to be on the floor all that much. And Aaron Womack, again, probably not going to be on the floor all that much. And the same thing with a guy like Tiefing Diawara. Now, look, if he can provide defense and rebounding this upcoming season, then he certainly, or his role will grow, I should say. But this seems like a depth move. And if they make any other move from here on out, I think it would just be adding depth. I think that center at this point, they're probably pretty much set. I don't think they're going to add a fourth one, because now they have 3 with William Kyle, Ibrahim, Souare, and Tiefing. The one thing that that he does bring, though, I will say this, I guess the one sort of significant thing is He's 6'11". He's got size. And I think that a lot of people reading your comments were saying how, yeah, they lack size, and you would think that that's an issue of concern for Syracuse. For me, it's more about the ability of the centers in general, less so their size. But if you were one of those people that was like, hey, this team needs size, well, he's got size. He's 6'11". He's got a 7'3" wingspan. The question is he going to be really good right off the bat?